I have the honor of introducing our special guest speaker today, Pleshette Robertson, and I'm going to read a little bit of your bio before I pass it over to you. But Pleshette is the CEO and founder of SacCulturalHub.com, which is the #1 premier and leading source of African Americans searching for Black urban entertainment news in Northern California and beyond. Pleshette was in 2003, Pleshette created the Sac Cultural Hub Media Foundation to develop and implement programs that educate, empower, and train young adults and women of color in underserved communities, which have included the Exceptional Women of Color Conference, which is coming up
October 8th.
October 8th, 2016. And also it includes the Hub Choice Awards show, Black Physicians Forum, the BPF Medical Student Scholarship Program, Young Exceptional Women of Color, and Scholarship Competition, and Young Women Summit. I've had the honor of knowing Pleshette for many, many years, probably over 20 years, and I've not only seen her grow the Sac Cultural Hub and take it to places I couldn't even imagine, but I've seen her grow tremendously. So I'm honored to introduce our special guest speaker today, Pleshette Robertson.
Thank you, Sheila, so much for that introduction. And just to share a short story of how close we were. We used to work at UC Davis School of Medicine. And Sheila was one of the very first persons who I actually emailed the front cover of our 2006 Hub magazine when we first went to publish this Hub magazine, which all of you have here. And they always say, if you want a truthful opinion, go to your relatives and your closest friends to see what they think of your idea. So I sent this cover to her, wondering what she would think. Because Sheila is brutally honest. She's like my relative, so she's going to tell you if she doesn't like something. So I sent this front cover to her, and she emailed me back so fast. That's how I knew that I was onto something. Because usually people won't email you back fast, and she's the type of person, she doesn't tell you a lot in an email, like 2 or 3 paragraphs. So what I do, she tells you in 1 line or 3 words. And so she emailed back immediately and said, I like it. And it sounded just like her voice. So that's how I knew that I was onto something as far as going into the whole world of marketing, advertising, and promotions. So I want to thank you so much, Sheila, for that introduction. And I'm just really so excited to be here. I actually have been to Lunch and Learns. I'm very familiar with the SAC Realtors Association for the past 3 or 4 years. So when I got the call from Zaretha, actually it was an email, I was very, very surprised. And I was completely floored, and I was like, I don't know if I could do this. But she told me that I want you to talk about marketing. So that's something that comes easy actually for me, because that's what I do. And I love to teach, and I love to educate and let others know about the best tips in the area, the field that I'm in. So I definitely accepted the invitation. I'm so glad to be here. I've been in this business now for 14 years, started in 2002 with the launch of the website. And then again, we started the publication, the website, in 2006. So specifically talking to you today about how to market yourself and also your business. And I'm hoping that you will leave here today with some valuable tips. Now, every one of you should be able to follow along. I made some handouts. They were passed out earlier today. So if you don't have one, there's someone back there that doesn't have it. Vicki will come around and make sure that you have it. So just to get right into what we're going to be covering today. So going to cover several areas of what it is to market. What is it that you want to market? What is a marketing strategy? The elements of a marketing strategy. Knowing your audience. Developing a marketing plan. Traditional media versus new age media, new age advertising. Your professional image. Your social media presence. Marketing yourself at trade shows, Facebook ad booths, developing a 12-month marketing calendar, scheduling social media tasks, multimedia marketing opportunities with the Sac Cultural Hub Media Company, us, and then some referral links and resources for you. So I always love to start a presentation, the subject matter that I'm talking about, with defining exactly what it is that we're talking about today, which is what is marketing. So I went to Wikipedia, and Wikipedia states this: communication between a company, that's you or the business, and the consumer audience, what we refer to as the client, customer, or target market, that aims to increase the value of the company or its merchandise, or at its simplest, raises the profile of the company and its products in the public mind. So the purpose of marketing is to induce behavior change in the receptive audience. So what does that all mean? And so my major is in business administration, and my minor was in human resources. So I didn't do a minor or a major in marketing, and I had to learn it all from just actually doing it. So the best way I can describe marketing to you is to find out what is it that the audience needs. So it's all about if the audience has, people out there have a need. If you can fill that need, then you can find out how to market that need. Great example with Sac Cultural Hub. I came here to Sacramento. People didn't have any idea what to do, where to go, and these events around the community, there was no central spot for it. So we developed a website where people could come to one central spot and see all the different events that were taking place across Sacramento. When we talk about realtors, we have home buyers out there, people who want new homes, and we also have people who are selling homes. So they have a need and you have to fill it. Now you have to connect with the audience in the best way possible, being appealing in who you are, consistent in who you are, how you project that image and that message so that people will actually contact you for services. So that's how we define marketing as we go into determining, the next slide, what is it that you want to market. So a lot of you in here are real estate agents or loan brokers, or you want to market yourself as a speaker, which some real estate agents do become speakers in their experts of their particular field. You want to market yourself as an author. Some of you in here already have written books. Services as a loan officer consultant, products in a storefront, or your published book, or your notary services. So those are just some examples of what it is that you want to market. So you can't start marketing until you have a marketing strategy and a marketing plan. It's really important to start sorting out who your potential customers might be. Finding out what has meaning for them. Because see, marketing is all about the audience, the target market that you want to reach. Not about what you want to say. People don't really care about what you want to say unless it fills their need. How is it that you're feeling an ache and pain that they have, and now if you can feel it, that's what you call marketing. So what do they care about? How does this relate to your offer? So I know from experience that customers do business with whom they actually like and are satisfied with the service they receive. So it's all about building relationships, and then quality of service, and also follow-up. I cannot state it enough. When I first started Sac Cultural Hub, I was so good about responding to every single email that came into my inbox. Now I'm not so good at it. And I need assistance in it because my email box is just overflowing, as everybody's email box, just with an overflow of just media in general, and everybody trying to contact you through Facebook, social media, and so forth. So when we talk about real estate agents, you all have a mission to either help customers buy property, a new home, or sell houses. So if you go to the next slide, I wanted to talk about how I came to know Zoretha Thompson, better known as Gorey and Thompson Real Estate. I remember when I first moved here to Sacramento, me and my sister in 2001, and we used to see this van all over Sacramento, and Zaretha's face on it. And I didn't know her at the time, but my sister was a hairstylist, and I was thinking about a business of going into. And so it was this picture that actually told us we could start marketing by using our actual face. We could put our face, because you have to think, do you want to be the face of the business or behind the business? That's critical to determine. Because a lot of people don't like their face out there. They're like, you know, I want my logo, my business name, and I just want my website or my service. I don't want people to know nothing about me. That's great. Whatever industry it may be, it may suit you. That's great. You don't want people to know you, and it might even work better for your business. But it really determines what type of service, what type of product, what type of event you are actually putting out there to the public, if you should actually put your face with the business. But you need to be consistent. I cannot say that enough. Consistency raises validity and also credibility. Okay? People see the same thing everywhere, they start to resonate with you. Okay? You almost become a billboard in people's minds. So this was a great example. It was a brilliant way of answering the call and need to what customers might need and care about, which is moving assistance at the same time of selling their home. Brilliant. So this was very, very successful. I can remember Zaretha talks about this a lot in presentations that she does. And so we started to develop flyers with our pictures on it, and we actually started Sac Cultural Hub with working with the Black Expo and recruiting for fashion shows through our Hub Choice Models project that we had started in the early years. And someone in this room was one of our first models. Her name is Tanisha Broadway. And it was a huge hit for us when we first started Sac Cultural Hub, because we all know African Americans, the urban market, we're about visual things. We love seeing really nice, appealing, and attractive photos on the internet. That's why we're on Facebook, because of all the different pictures. So by using her friendly face, appealing, she automatically connected with potential customers, thus triggering phone calls for further assistance. So that's what's key for all of you guys to know when you're determining how you develop a certain promotion, which you might actually need to sit down with a consultant and talk about promotional pieces that now become what you call branding. Branding is another big word that you should know about, and it is key. It is like how all the major corporations, Disneyland, I should say Disney. So you got IBM, you got Hewlett Packard, you have Paramount Pictures. You just have major corporations out there where their brand automatically resonates. You know exactly who they are. McDonald's is one of them. So we have the elements of a marketing strategy. All of these are very important, and some of you are maybe very familiar with more than the other. Branding, social media, research, publicity, advertising, blogs, print, graphics, pricing, products, customer promotion. So why is branding VIP? Your logo, company name, along with your professional photo, if you are choosing to be the face of the business, I say it must be consistent, and where it is displayed. When the public sees this information, it must resonate with them, and will then start to build credibility, like I said, and trust in who you are and what you do. Your business card and your website are like the driver's license for established business identification, okay, especially as a real estate broker and in the business that I am in, being a media consultant and also having the website. A lot of people say, oh, you don't need a website now, you can just go with Facebook or Twitter. Not so, okay? Website actually serves as identification. Not everybody can just have a website, and we'll talk about how your website should actually be formatted in today's world, 21st century. Then social media presence is vital to staying relevant, in all caps, okay, with your audience at all times, as this has become a major platform where everyday people, your potential clients, spend a majority of their time practically every day, from the time they get up, when they work out in the morning, when they sit at the breakfast table, when they go to a meeting or a luncheon, when they go to a conference, when they come back home and they sit at the dinner table, when they're in the bed at night and they're watching TV, they are hooked to their telephone, okay, that has social media on it, or they have a desktop or an iPad. This is where your audience is. You need to have presence out there. The first slide that I was on here, so important, your own personal, everyone in here should have a personal Facebook page because it's free. And then you should also have a fan page for your business. And that top banner, it needs to be consistent with your website. And we're talking about logo, photo consistency, and color image consistency. It all makes a difference because, again, people are looking at this from everywhere and it needs to be the same everywhere. Research is necessary to browse the internet stats on who your potential client is. Publicity is necessary, writing press releases when necessary to send to news outlets, TV, radio, and national magazines. This is how you get free mainstream coverage for your particular project or business promotion. Examples: Sacramento Magazine, Sacramento Bee, Black Enterprise, and Essence Magazine. And we all know in here what a press release is. If you're not good at writing press releases, get somebody to write a press release for your special project that you're doing, or a new book project that you're releasing, or whatever it is that you feel that needs to have that national exposure, or even on a local level. You should write a press release because there are always news outlets out there that are looking for great stories to share either on the news or in some national news publication. And then graphics, we talked about that. Your logo, your website, your color scheme, how you want you and your business to be perceived by others is critical. Do you want to be perceived as a small enterprise versus a large enterprise? And then advertising, okay, advertising, along with promotions. Utilizing a variety of media components that could include, you don't just use one. You do choose a couple at least that work the best. You don't have to use all, but you should be using a combination of media outlets to get your message out there. TV, video, radio, print, online, texting is big, e-blast, Facebook, Twitter ad boosts, and social media blitz. So I wanted to also go over some really great websites, and these are some of your colleagues. Now, when Constance Carter, she recently wrote a book with one of your colleagues, Sheila Green, who's here, and also Tanarsha. And her website, when I saw it, is just a really good website. And I'm big on copy and steal. I did it with SacCulturalHub.com. I looked at all the major websites in the entertainment industry that were on the East Coast. I looked at BET, I looked at Essence, and I sat down with my website designer and I said, this is what I want my website to resemble. But I had to come up with, of course, my own color scheme, the content for the website, and how the arrangement wanted to look. But I had a base model to go from. And there's nothing wrong with that. You should actually put your own tweaks in. You don't want to do, just a copy verbatim. But I would say this is an excellent model to use when you talk about coming up with a new website for yourself. Now, she actually has one for herself and she has one for her business, and we'll go to that one. Stay on this one. But what I like about this, the picture is great, and her pictures are consistent in her look for her professional look of her business or herself. And then her navigation is great. Great buttons. What I love most about this is right in the top right-hand corner, which a lot of people don't know for their websites, you need to have easy access for people to get to your social media. You see that Facebook icon? Then she has YouTube. Or that's Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. You could also add YouTube up there as well. Okay? So that is really key. She made it very easy, and also for people to email her as well. That's key. And probably to send a contact page to her as well. This is an excellent example of how, this is probably one I'll model for PlachetteRobertson.com. Okay, so go to the next slide. This is the Catalyst Real Estate website. So this is her website, and Sheila, you're also part of the Sheila and right? Yeah. Okay. So this is another great website, easy to navigate. tell you how to let's get started, allows you a place to enter your information. Because if you're offering this service and I come to your website, I want to know how to enter exactly what I need for getting ready to buy a home or sell a home. So they're answering the call right here. Great website to model. Go to the next slide. Here's another great one. Zoretha's website. She's incorporated so much on her homepage. Video. Video has been the wave and is the next wave through Snapchat for how you connect and resonate with your audience. There's nothing better than being able to pull up a video and being able to see the person talk who's the face of the business. So this is an actual commercial. She brings you inside of her office and tells you about all the services that is provided by Gloria Thompson. Great top banner here with the logo. Her colors are great. She stayed with this. And then also professional photo on the side. And then great navigational links to other areas of her website. So just another great model for if you're going to redo your website. Sometimes I call it a facelift. We've actually gone through 3 facelifts for SACculturalHub.com website. And I'll talk a little bit more about why that is necessary for you to stay up to date on the look and feel of your website. Okay, we can go on to the next slide. So definitely wanted to include some information. Not a lot of people know about how the audience is segmented into groups. And right here we go from our GI generation to the silent generation. You can see the age groups. I'm in the baby boomers section. And then we have Generation X. And our huge, big population is the millennial generation. That's the one you got to really connect to. They're the ones that are about to take over our generation. And they're the ones who are really using the Snapchat, the YouTube, and texting to really keep up with one another. There are other social media pieces that are out there. They're really on Facebook as well. And Instagram is huge with the millennial generation. And then we got Generation Z. So this is a pretty good slide to have because it kind of gives a description of the group that you're dealing with. And this is key when we talk about targeting interest groups on Facebook and what they like and how you can target a geographical audience where they are located across the world, not only in the state, and by age group and their interest groups. Next slide. So another thing that I mentioned before, just want to mention a couple of points on developing a marketing plan, which is a part of your marketing strategy. You should be marketing yourself as a small business or as a corporation. Marketing, we talked about, is connecting to your audience. Stress your difference, quality service is key, and expanding your customer base. So as a business owner, it's going to be important for you to develop a marketing plan calendar. And I have several samples that I've given to you in this exercise that we'll go over that gives you how to track throughout the year for not only social media, but all types of advertising that you should think on a seasonal to monthly level for the combination of methods that will be used to promote yourself, your business, services, products, and events. So these are some of the things that we'll mention again that go on your marketing calendar. So this is a mix of all the different types of traditional media and new age advertising. So mailing direct mail pieces, and I'll just go through a few of these that have really, really worked well for me and that you should always mark on your calendar. If it works well for you, mark it on your calendar because that's something you need to do every year at that same time if it worked well for getting new customers or getting returning customers to come back to you. Holiday greeting cards from day one. I've learned to do that from doing my grandmother's greeting cards. When I was 16 and I used to do her card, I did her cards for like 10, 20 years. Every year I'd sign her cards with a special message in it. And that's what led me to always do my holiday greeting cards. And I cannot tell you, that's probably what's kept me in business. Because all of my clients get a greeting card, including my family members, and even new people that aren't clients. I make sure to send them a card and I also include a picture. There's, I tell people, if you're going to send me a card and it doesn't have a picture in it, I don't want it. I love family pictures. We're visual people, so it's nothing better than actually getting a holiday greeting card. And I know we have Facebook and we have online greeting cards, but it's nothing like getting that in the mail. It's almost like a gift. If you can send a picture of, the staff. People love seeing who is the staff that makes up your company, and then also your family. People love seeing that as well. That's connecting to your audience. And then selecting some great greeting cards. You can have some made specific to your company, or you can buy some. So that has worked well for me. And then birthday cards as well. You can, make sure you always try to say happy birthday on a person's post, especially your clients. You should be doing that now through Facebook. People are very sensitive, and I know that on Facebook, and people are following your posts and what you do. So stay consistent. I know it's, it can be difficult, and there's so much is smothering. We have a lot to do, but try to always say happy birthday to your clients on their Facebook page, because this is visual and other people see it. Record your speaking engagements. Physically call your clients. I'm bad at this, but some people you have to determine, is this a phone person, or is this a text person, or is this an email person? If this is a phone person, please call them, take them out to lunch or for coffee, and make sure you're doing that with that particular client, once a year or when you can. Distribute press releases accordingly. Attending major and or relevant conferences or mixers. This should be on your marketing calendar. It is a part of you being out in the public. Scheduling annual events to promote you, your business, or an anniversary promotion. Social media posts, advertising. When are you going to do radio? Are you going to do radio in October? Are you going to do radio in the spring? You have to figure out when that works best for your business. When are you going to do trade shows? How many trade shows are you going to do a year? You can't do every trade show throughout all the trade shows that you're invited to, but you can do the ones that work best for your business. Are you going to do billboards? Are you going to do bus ads? A lot of business that comes to real estate brokers, I know, is by word of mouth and referrals. So that's, one of your traditional media pieces. And then staff meetings. You should be having regular staff meetings for those people who work with consultants and have employees, because this is how you bring new ideas into the business as part of your marketing plan. So that's for traditional media. Now we move to the next slide. Offering you some tips for establishing and maintaining your professional image and business presence. So again, having the same look. You need to ask yourself these questions, and sometimes you may need to do this every 2 to 3 or 5 years. Logo, business name, photo on the business card, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Is your website, we talked about, responsive? Some of you may not know these terms. If you don't, you need to get with a technical person and ask them about your site being responsive, because our site wasn't responsive for a long time. And just, I believe, 3 or 4 years ago, I sat down with my website designer to undergo that change, which took about 2 to 3 weeks. Because if you're still running what I call a homemade website, then when people look up your website on their phone, it doesn't adjust to the size of the phone. And this is what we call a CMS, Content Management System. Okay, so that's a tip that you should know about. What is your tagline? A lot of people don't know that there is a supplement to your business name, because sometimes your business name just doesn't spell it out. A tagline is something of a phrase or less than a sentence. And here's ours: your leading urban resource for business, education, and entertainment news in Northern California. Short and sweet. Okay, and so then think about this as a part of your marketing. When you're out in the public at different conferences and mixers, what is your 60-second commercial when introducing yourself? I always stumble over this one. Okay, it should be no more than 30 to 60 seconds. That whatever a person asks you, whenever you're out, well, what is it that you do? You shouldn't have to stumble at it. It should flow, and it should be not a story, because remember, you lose the average person probably in the first 10 seconds that you start talking to them. So if you're not interested in them, or you're boring, or you're dry. I remember my sister making a joke one time. We were talking about someone, and she was like, "Oh, no, he was just so dry. I don't know how I was going to last through the conversation." But okay, and then, is your mission statement clear and concise? Okay. in your brochure and on your website. Here's our mission statement. Provide exciting vehicles of engagement where businesses and nonprofit organizations can display services and products, share their events, as well as provide public service information to educate and inspire the urban community. That's it. That's our mission statement. And mission statements can undergo changes, again, every 2 to 3 and 5 years, because sometimes they do need to be revised with the time. So the next slide this is some really good tips that I'm going to give you right now, because a lot of times when I sit down with people as a media consultant to start to help them, assist them with advertising, promotion, and marketing, is your social media presence for what is it that you're trying to do. So first of all, very rarely do I encounter people who don't have Facebook pages, okay? So mostly everyone who's in business has a Facebook page, personal page. You should also have a fan page. If you don't have one, there's no excuses, it's free. But then you should know the Facebook URL of your fan Twitter, Snapchat, or Instagram page. This is key, because on the website demos that I showed you, where you saw the little icons, if you press on that, that's going to take you directly to Constance's personal page for her Facebook and also her Instagram. Okay, there's nothing worse than you not being able to provide a link either in an email or even in a text now, because I know it's helped me to even provide it for my texters. If I send them the link, they love it, because now it takes them directly to where they want to go. If you can't provide the link, or you don't know the link and it's the wrong link, it's nothing worse than getting a door slammed in your face, because you can't get to the information that you need about that particular person. So we know the Facebook URL for our Facebook fan page, for my personal page, as you can see, for our Twitter page, my LinkedIn page, YouTube page, and the Instagram page. And so you need to find this out about all the different social media sites that you're using, and put it in an email somewhere, have it in a file, and then be able to have easy access to this, and definitely have it out there on your homepage, linking from those icons. Okay, so as we talk about different stats, I just thought this would be good information for you, so you can see the different users as far as nationalities go, of who's using what when we talk about Instagram versus Pinterest. And this was pretty interesting data that we actually researched and found out in one of our projects that we were doing. Go on to the next slide. So some tips about successfully marketing yourself at an industry trade show, which I think is one of the greatest forms of marketing, because you get to actually touch and feel the person that could possibly be your potential client. And this is how we really gain momentum and popularity when we did trade shows. And we started out with the Sacramento Black Expo, the Martin Luther King event. So plan again what's needed for the exhibitor booth, types of clients you want to connect with. Be sure to have a sign-up list to collect email info and adequate staffing. I always say bring at least 2 or 3 people, so you have one person roaming, networking out there across the entire trade show, and someone always at the booth to connect with people who come to the booth. Create a memorable leave behind, good, meaningful conversation with people who come to the booth. Always good to do that. Good promo info about you and your business. Something of significance as free to give away or a discount coupon. Be confident, not cocky. Be sure to show how passionate you are about what you do. And always, whatever information you get from people, if you tell people you're going to follow up with them within at least 24 to 48 hours. It is key to getting that person as a client and having that client refer you to new clients, okay? And it's how you build relationships. So what's new out there in advertising? Well, the newest thing in the last 2 to 3 years is just exploded is the Facebook ad boost. How many people in here know about Facebook ad boost? Okay, real important for you to get educated in this area because Facebook has learning something new out there in social media, just in general, is huge. But Facebook has changed. I can't go into it because I don't claim to know it all, but the algorithm has changed. So what you used to be able to post as a Facebook events page, or actually on your personal page or fan page, and hope people will see it and come to like it, that doesn't happen all the time now. For some reason, because they changed everything so people would now increase advertising in the news feeds. So you see a lot of people using sponsored ad through what we call Facebook ad booths. This is where you get to select your age, your audience by age, location, and gender. Now I'm going to give you some pointers here. It's kind of hard to understand on your own. That's why we hope that you come to us as a media consultant so you can hire us and we'll be able to do this for you, or you can actually learn it on your own through some of these tips. So you get to target what we call interest groups. You get to track what we call conversions. Conversions is if you actually get to see somebody sign up, email collection, purchase tickets, or link clicks. And that's the stats over here to show you how different people went to the link that was attached here so they could get more information. And that's what we call a conversion. So this is increasing your visibility with likes, shares, and comments. So if you go to the next slide, this is just another slide to show how we worked with Gordy and Thompson to get people to attend an event or do counseling, and we use compelling photos for people to actually take action. I tell people it's all about the visual of how you get people to actually stop in their news feed, because you got to think about how can I make this person stop along their news feed because they got millions of things on their wall. What's going to make them want to stop and take notice to what I've posted? It's always got to answer the call of a need of what the user actually needs, right? So this is an example of what we use to get people to either share, comment, or actually go to the link on this particular promotion. There is another one. This is another one just for an example for you to take a look at in your records. So I'm just going to rush through here. I only got 1 minute left. We already went through this. This is what you think about putting on your 12-month calendar. And we're going to zip through these. I gave you notes for main events and holidays. So here's how you can begin, because some of the things you do coincide with some of the things that are already on the calendar. Even if you don't believe in some of the holidays, your users do. So this is a good thing to use for background information. So you got scheduling social media tasks. If you go on, you can use Hootsuite, which you need to look that up on your own, because that's a way to be able to post at the same time Twitter, Facebook, and also Instagram through Hootsuite and schedule ahead of time. So these are different types of calendar. You can roll through that one. Social media calendar templates that you can actually build in Excel or even use your Google Calendar to actually schedule out how you're going to set up your social media posts. So if you go on to the next slide, we want to talk about digital web advertising with sacculturalhub.com, some of the major ways to do that. And that's through our blogs, eBlast, Urban Weekly e-newsletter, the social media, and also internet web marketing. That's our homepage, as it often changes daily. You go to the next slide, how we reach the community. Talked about how we started in 2002, and we have the Hub magazine, and we also have the Sac Cultural Hub Media Foundation with our two major signature events, the EWalk Conference and the Black Physicians Forum. So if you go to the next slide, this is our by far most popular promotion. It is the eBlast ad campaign with sacculturalhub.com. Gave you this background information. That's an example of the Nehemiah Real Estate eBlast that was sent and continues to be sent. These are the different benefits and how we target our audience and how we built up over time. So you have that, and then we also included a slide. So we have different companies such as Cover California, also UC Davis, that has actually used us as a media agency. So we do act as an agency, being able to consult you on all the different forms of channels of communications that you can use to reach the mass communication, the mass public audience across California. Sheila?
I have a question regarding the email blast that you sent.
Are you, I mean, because people aren't using email as much as they used to, are you seeing a decline in responses, or is it still effective for you?
Well, I wouldn't say we're seeing a decline in responses. It's all in the timing. Timing is everything of when you send e-blasts throughout the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday tend to be the best times to send e-blast messages. Early morning, not so late in the evening, and then being able to do a combination with a Facebook ad boost. So therefore you run the traffic, because that's where people seem to be, is on the Facebook platform. So you run them back to the e-blast, and we have an archive of all our e-blasts. You can find e-blasts that go back like several years. So we keep that information online because it serves as historical information, okay? So I did give you a list of referral links and resources that would be of help to you. And as we come to a close on this presentation, I want to thank you so much for having me here today. Words to remember when marketing yourself. Be different, be authentic, be yourself, be helpful, be patient, be available, be consistent, be visible, be original, be memorable, be exciting, and then be everything.